Hello, this is Angelo, and I'm here today with a very special business coaching masterclass with one of the most dreaded subjects, and that is the plan. So, today I'm going to give you the simplest business plan possible. Basically, it is a universal one. So, no matter if you're B2B or B2C, no matter if you're doing business online or offline, no matter if you're just getting started, or if you have scaled up to the 8 or even 9 figures, this plan is fitting like all sizes. And you will see why, because we are dealing only with the fundamentals. As Tony Robbins says, you never ever want to get bored of the fundamentals. So, before we begin, I want to thank you for being here, and you want to congratulate yourself for being here, for the fact that you didn't allow yourself to get distracted, by social media, business as usual, or any other distraction. You are here, you are focused on taking your business to the next level. Of course, you want to switch off your phone and all notifications, and you want to turn off all the other windows on the PC, laptop, MacBook, or tablet that you are watching this masterclass from, simply because you want to focus entirely on what we will be discussing here. During the next 30 minutes, maybe 45 for today. I think we will stretch this masterclass to about 45 minutes today. The subject is very important, and I want to make sure I am thorough. So for the next 45 minutes, let's say that in this world, it is just you and me. Of course, you're more than welcome to take notes, but always remember that you have the replay at your disposal. So if you want, if it is fitting to you, you can be fully present to what we are discussing here and keep notes later on. Last but not least, I want to remind you that we have crossed the point of no return, meaning that the only outcome that you allow in your consciousness from now on is that you land happily and safely at your destination, having achieved your ideal goal. How do you feel? The question that I'm asking at the beginning of each and every webinar, the question that you want to be asking yourself many times during the day, simply because the better you feel, the higher the quality of your present is, and the more energy you have to create the future that you truly desire. Of course, always remember that we have set our thermostat to the happy and unstoppable level, meaning that when this thermostat goes down, we make sure, and you will see, I will remind you later on the exercises that we perform in order to take ourselves back to the happy and unstoppable state. So, as I promised you, I will first of all tell you why most businesses fail, because this is a fact. Most businesses do fail and will be failing if they don't do something different. So, they do fail because their leaders don't have a goal, first of all. And of course, if you don't have a goal, you have failed before you even began, because you don't have something to point at: your mind, your team, and your resources. They don't believe in achieving that goal. So they do have a goal, but they don't believe in actually achieving that goal. And when you don't believe in something, maybe you're courageous, but still, at some point, you will not stretch yourself enough to actually do something different and actually achieve that goal. And then they don't have a plan. So they do have a goal, they believe in that goal, but they don't have a plan to follow. And most people think, when they are failing, oh, this is why I'm failing. I have a small business and I'm failing. Let's see what the big businesses have. They have big plans, and they have Gantt charts and all these fancy things. But they do have these fancy things because they have a very complex organization, maybe tens of thousands of people all around the world, and they want to be able to communicate to each other, number one, and make sure that every single person in this organization can change at any given moment, right? Because I might say, I quit. So you should be able to come and fill in my position without actually affecting the potential of the organization. When you are a small business owner, or when you are a solopreneur, You still do need to have a plan, as I will show you later on, but this is not the reason you're failing. If you are failing, or if you're not able to grow to the next level, to take your business to the next level, the most important reason is consistency. So for some weird reason that I still don't get, most business owners think that there is some kind of magical book, magical seminar, or magical action that they can take, and after that point, they can, let's say, relax and take their foot off the pedal, and for some weird reason, again, this business will keep soaring and growing even. And that is not the case, as I will show you later on. So always remember, success has nothing to do with the future. Success has nothing to do with achieving a certain revenue or profit at some point in the future, and everything to do with what you're doing right now. Right now, you're investing in yourself. You are here because I promised you the simplest, and when I say simplest, it is a plan that you can apply right now. Once we are done with this masterclass, you can sit down. It's kind of a fill in the blank. Basically, it is as if you have only 8 questions to answer, and that's it. You have your plan. You have, let's say, the first draft of your plan, and you will be upgrading it as you move along. So, what is the 8-step success plan, super plan, as I like to say, that I promised? Number 1, what you need is a super destination, a super goal, something that means so much to you that tomorrow morning you will jump off bed and make sure that you go about that goal, achieving that goal. Number 2, you need to be in a super state, the happy and unstoppable state. If not, you want to do something about it. Number 3, you need super beliefs. You need to truly believe in yourself and truly believe in the fact that you and your team do have the potential to achieve that goal. Number 4, you need super customers. Number 5, you need super attention of these customers. Number 6, you need a super list, a super email list or mobile phone list. And this is basically one of your most vital assets, as I will show you in a bit. Number 7, you need a super offer. And number 8, you need to provide super value. Now, I've said super like many times, right? So why did I use this word? When I'm drafting something, when I am designing something, how I go about it matters. So Fiat, when they created Cinquecento, they didn't try to create like the fastest Ferrari and failed. They tried to create a Cinquecento and succeeded. So always remember, how you design your life, how you design your business pretty much affects everything that has to do with your success in the future. So you better call it super from the very beginning if you truly want super results in the end. You can't have like a sloppy beliefs, sloppy plan, and have super amazing results, right? If you still believe that, it is, let me tell you, it is naive. It is something that I have paid dearly in the past, and you better align your beliefs, your state, and everything that has to do with your business with the level of success that you truly desire. So let's see more specifically now. Super destination, what do we mean by that? It has to be clear and it has to be compelling. It has to be clear so that if you have like a team of 5, let's say, you can communicate that goal. And of course, number 1, to communicate to yourself, to make sure you know what you're talking about, where it is that you're going. So if it is a financial goal, it has to be a measurable goal. If it has something to do with a level of value that you're providing, again, it has to be as measurable and clear as possible. And number 2, you need to be in a super state. And let me remind you the 5 exercises that we do in order to pull ourselves up emotionally to that super state. Number 1, perspective. So even if 2024 up until now has been like a complete disaster for your business. Let's take like a very bad example. Still, you can find many people that are in much, much worse situation than you are. So if you're still trying to, like self-beat yourself because you're in that state and you didn't succeed as much as you wanted up until now, you want to make sure that you shift your perspective and see, first of all, the big picture, go general and see what is available to you. And then you can also find people who were in much worse situation than you are right now and still succeeded. And this will help you lift yourself up a bit. And of course, the second exercise is forgiveness. And you forgive, I remind you once again, you forgive not because you agree with what happened, or if you say, okay, I see why you did that to me or whatever. You forgive someone or something simply because you want to let go of this bitterness, and you love and respect yourself so much that you want to let go of this like invisible poison that is within. Number 3, love, and you always begin with self-love. So maybe you give yourself a big hug, like as if you would hug a little baby, and you give yourself a big hug, you look yourself in the mirror, say and mean it. Say, I love you, and I will do whatever it takes to take you to the next level so that you can take your business to the next level. Number 4 is gratitude. And always remember that simply a rampage of gratitude is enough to fuel yourself emotionally and take you to the next level, the next operating level, so that you can perform better and achieve more. Gratitude is one of the most common secrets, let's say, of most business leaders. It is something that is available and accessible to you all day long, and simply a rampage of gratitude is enough to get you going. Last but not least, it's the happy landing exercise. It is when you close your eyes and see and feel yourself at your destination. You don't think of your destination, you think from your destination. You are already there mentally and, most importantly, emotionally. And you make this image and this feeling, you make it as recognizable as possible, because once you replicate that, you start conditioning yourself with that level of success. And now you're ready for step 3, because now you're building super beliefs. And you need to remember these 5 waves that, in order, as I like to say, to become a captain of your soul and a captain of your business, these are the 5 waves that you have to cross. Wave number 1, believe that I truly want something. Now you might say, Angelo, this is what I said I want, so I do want it, right? Yes, but always remember that you have conflicting beliefs and conflicting desires. So you do want a 6-pack and a 6-pack, meaning you want to have like a flat belly, but also you want to have like a 6-pack of sodas or beer or whatever. So which one is it? Make sure that your belief that you truly want what you say you want is what I like to say 10 out of 10. So it is, you give a maximum star rating to that belief. Next, believe that I deserve it. Believe that you truly deserve what you say you want, because if you don't believe that you deserve it, you will not do much about it. Number 3, believe that you can. And that belief has to come even before you have all the proof that you can, because it has something to do with your self-confidence, not the knowledge that you and your team have. Elon Musk believes that he can go to Mars, even though all the evidence up until now are not, let's say, validating that belief. Number 4, believe that you will. But Angelo, I want something, I believe I deserve it, I believe I can do it. Are you telling me that I don't believe that I will do it? Yes. Let's say you're 5 kilos or 10 pounds overweight right now, and you want to lose that weight. Is it because you lack knowledge? Is it because you cannot do it? Or is it because you're not doing it? So, as Jim Rohn used to say, what is easy to do is also easy not to do. And maybe you felt like victim of that trap up until now. So you want to raise your belief level to the maximum in order to cross the fourth wave and actually believe and be positive about it, that you will always be doing what it takes to get to the next level. And number five, believe that you are there, believe that you have achieved your goal. So this is like the pinnacle of the happy landing exercise. When nothing can move you from that belief, from that state. And this is where you become like a powerhouse in your business. And you also start replicating this vibration, creating a ripple effect to all your team, because they will be looking up to you and they will be seeing this conviction that it is done. We are not there yet, but it is done. It's a matter of time. It is done. Mentally and emotionally, you're there. Number four, now let's go to the specifics. In order to achieve that growth, you need a super customer. You need the right customer, the ideal customer, your soulmate. And you want to jot down, you start this exercise. Let me remind you, I was in this masterclass that Dean Graziosi hosted last year. And Dean shared Julia, which is the ideal customer of Mastermind. And to my surprise, it was 5 pages of notes. I say to my surprise because I went to like a page and a half in some occasions, in some projects, but never in that depth. And also, Pace Morbis shared that he has 23 avatars, as he calls it, 23 different ideal or super customers. And this is, again, simply because you want to go into that depth, because when you're being specific, then your mind has a guide to what you're looking for. And of course, if you have a marketing team or if you outsource your marketing, it is easy for you to convey to them what it is exactly what you're looking for. So you want to go about the demographics, the characteristics, beliefs, values, habits, and of course, desires. What do they want? And you want to become super specific about it. For instance, let me give you an example. When I jot down the details of my super customer for each and every project, I write down things like they are a very good, they would pay in advance, for example. They're a very good customer and they are a perfect fit to my products and services. So they enjoy my products and services. If I do something wrong, they're being polite about it and they ask me, if I can do something different or whatever. They're not being rude or something, or in a rude way or in an illegal or immoral way. They are asking their money back, as it could have happened if I didn't design that. So always remember the Cinquecento example. Not all your customers will be this way, but if you put that in, let's say, the job description, in the design stage, you will be attracting as much as close to that description as possible. Next, you need super attention. So now that you know who your ideal client is, you want to attract their attention, and opposite to what is happening in social media, you don't want to steal their attention. You want to earn their attention, because this is something that you can replicate. So you might have heard like the term clickbait or all these things, or what media companies are doing, like with dramatic music and very disturbing images, and they're trying to steal your attention. You want to make sure that you're earning your ideal customer's attention, because this is how you build solid relationships. So number one, you want your content to be adapted to your ideal customer, to your super customer. And you want it to elevate your credibility and at the same time elevate your attractiveness. So once your content is consumed, your credibility has gone up. You're more credible to the eyes and ears of your ideal customer. And also, you have become more attractive, meaning the time, the energy, and the repetitions in terms of content consumption that it will take for them to become your customer are smaller, shorter. Also, you want your advertising targeting to be in a way that it fits your super customer. So if you're doing your Facebook ads, you want to make sure you choose the right interests or the right behaviors. If you are outsourcing your ads, your Facebook, Google ads, or whatever, you want to communicate what you want, which is the actual ideal client that you want to your advertising team. You want to make sure that they are targeting the right age and all these things, the right gender, if there is some kind of need in that sense. Number 6, you need to create and grow a super list. Here's what happens. Number 1, you need to have attractive lead magnets. Lead magnets are these things that actually create a new lead, right? So for example, you have like a PDF or a webinar or a challenge or anything that someone will give their email in order to get that lead magnet. Number 2, you want to see all these lead magnets in order for you to be more attentive of the quality. You want to see your lead magnets as micro products that cost not $1 or $10 or $1,000. They cost one email. So consider this like a business transaction. Someone is giving you their email and you are giving them the lead magnet. And this transaction has to be fitting for your ideal client. So when they receive that lead magnet, whatever it is, you want to make sure that they feel justified, that they gave you their email for them to get that lead magnet. Now you're on the right track. Focus on the quality of the leads and later on the quantity. So many times people say, I have a list of like 1 million. And then you see people like me with much smaller lists and being much more effective and having more sales. Why? Because you care, basically, look at your life. You care about how many like good or best friends you have. You don't start making like a number of how many people you know. This is like irrelevant information. Basically, as you progress in life, you realize that the only thing that matters is that how many people will pick up the phone when you're in a state of need, right? So this is the same with your list. You want to make sure that there are people that your relationship with them can grow to the point that they become your customer at some point. Of course, still, this will be a very small portion of your list, right? Let's say 3, 5, 10%. 10% is a good percentage of having like a ratio of 1 to 10 customers to leads. But still, the other 90% could be people who believe in you but not yet believe in themselves or do not still have the money to become your customers with this high-end product that you have probably, and so on. Next, your list is one of the most valuable assets of your business. So always remember that you could be growing your Facebook page to 1 million people, or you could be growing your TikTok account to 500,000, and then the US government might decide that TikTok is off the US. So always remember that you do not own your pages, your Facebook groups, your YouTube channels. The platforms own your stuff. So always remember that the only real asset that you have is your email list, your mobile phone list, and always remember that somehow you want to take that attention from social media and channel it or funnel it towards creating a stronger and bigger email list. Last but not least, your list gives you the opportunity to create an on-demand offer. So let's go back to the example that I gave you before. Let's just say that right now you're not there yet. You're not in the point that you wanted to be at this point of the year. You're a bit behind. And I remember a story from Ryan Dice, and he said it was like, I don't know, like definitely 10 years ago, maybe 15. And he said that at some point, when you do the, like, what is it, like April 15th, that you get the tax return or something in the US. It was about that time. I remember also because April 16th is my birthday, but it has to do with the tax deadline in the US. And Ryan Dice found out that he had to pay the IRS about $250,000. And he freaked out. He thought it would be a much smaller amount. And he thought, okay, what am I going to do about it? So he has decided to do what is called, and if you follow Jeff Walker, you might know the term, a quick launch. So what he did basically was a quick launch during like a 3 or 4 day period, and everything had to do with sending like the right email sequence. So there wasn't much social media back then, if any. I think it was about 2010 or something like that. So long time ago. And what Ryan Dice did was an email sequence, and he had to make sure that he would capitalize his list as much as possible. Of course, back then, also the open rates were much higher, but that's not the case. Right now, what matters to you is that if you grow your list and if you cultivate your list in the way that I do, for example, so be consistent with your emails, give content consistently, make sure that people are opening your emails, and now you have the opportunity to create an on-demand offer and have like a bump in your sales. Number 7, you want to have a super offer, meaning, first of all, when we say offer, it means something that you provide, right? So number 1, you need a super product. And many people focus so much on their marketing or the lack of it, and they think that the product is irrelevant. Your number 1 marketing source is your product. As Alex Hormozy says, if you stop like doing nothing for a couple of months or even a couple of years and create a super product, then this will start being marketing itself. But of course, you need to communicate it. Of course, you need to have the right targeting. But first of all, you need to have the right product, something that actually delivers value. Number 2, super benefits. You need to be able to convey the benefits, not the features, but the benefits of your product. And number 3, the end result, let's say. When we're talking about benefits, what will happen if I consume your product? Okay, will I be stronger? Will I be fitter? Will I lose weight? What will happen? Will I have more self-confidence? What is the outcome of consuming your product or service? Next, you need to have super incentives like bonuses and scarcity so that people will take action, because this is what elevates your conversions. Always remember, this is what we're talking about, a super offer. You need to create something that is truly irresistible, and you optimize that as much as possible. Next, you need to provide super value and make sure that your product or service exceeds, number 1, your promises from your marketing, and number 2, the expectations of your ideal client. You want to make sure you're doing that, because if that is happening, then your first clients will also become your best sales force, because they will become your brand and product ambassadors. This is super important. Now, what I gave you is this 8-step plan. And let me remind you, number one, super destination. Number two, super state, super beliefs, super customer, super attention, super list, super offer, and last but not least, super value. Consider this list, consider these 8 steps, consider this plan as having 8 process goals, meaning that these steps you optimize as you move along. So you create your first draft and then you can optimize it as much as possible. You can do it by yourself or you can delegate this to your team depending on who is responsible for each subject. But what matters is that, as I said before, if your revenue is 0 or if your revenue is 2 million, you can apply this plan and optimize this plan accordingly. Now, you need 3 more steps in order to roll out this plan. Number 1, you make your first version, your first draft, your first plan. Number 2, opposite to what most would do, you actually follow that plan. I know it's crazy, but most of the times you see people like spending like a full weekend to design what they will be doing next year and so on, and the next year comes and they do something completely different. And you might argue, why did you spend like 2 days drafting and planning and everything if you were going to do something completely different? But if you want to make sure that you actually succeed by design, you want to follow your plan. And of course, the third step is to upgrade your plan. So if you see that your plan is not taking you there, you upgrade that plan. You're making sure you're putting all these upgrades that will take you there. Of course, in order to follow your plan, it would be a great idea to have either an accountability buddy or better, even better, a coach. And you might say right now, you know what, Angelo, I would love to have a coach, but I cannot afford one right now. You can definitely then afford a self-coaching, to have you as your coach. And I want to remind you the 3 questions that you can have like at any given moment in order to self-coach yourself. Number 1, where am I going? Number 2, why? And number 3, which is the biggest obstacle, the biggest challenge right now? So you go about solving this. You know you have clarity. If your why is strong enough, you do have the drive to go about it. And now you have the energy and you have the clarity to solve the biggest problem in order to get there. In order to upgrade your plan now, it would be a great idea to have a mentor. A mentor is, as opposed to the coach, a mentor is someone who has definitely the knowledge that will take you there. A mentor is someone who has either done it before, let's say, or has collected the knowledge from other people's successes, like a coach with, let's say, humongous experience. And the one that comes to mind, of course, is Tony Robbins, is someone that helped me dearly when I got started and got stopped from keep going back in 2009. So you know the story. It was Tony's support and contribution for me to actually get through this brick wall that I hit back in 2008, the summer of 2008, that I realized that my enthusiasm alone is not good enough for me to achieve my business dreams and business goals. So I remember myself going through Personal Power, the audio of Personal Power, and then a few months later, visiting Tony in New York for my first UPW. And the moment that I walked on fire, I knew that there was much more that my senses allowed me to see at that point. My potential was much higher. And of course, from that day until now, Tony Robbins has helped me so many times. He has given so much input to my success that I consider him a mentor still, and hopefully for many years to come. And you can also have Tony Robbins as a mentor with his new business program. And what a great idea it would be for you to have Tony Robbins as your mentor and me as your complimentary coach in order to upgrade your business this year, not anytime in the future, not hoping and not doing, but actually upgrading yourself, your operating system, and go about your goals this year. So if you're up for it, you still have a little bit of time. I think if you're watching live, it is something like 15 hours that this offer is still available. You can go to angelolabru.com/Tony, and just to make sure that there is no typo there, I just pasted the URL in the chat. The best thing that you can do right now is to make sure that you leave this masterclass with your first plan and also making sure that you will take action no matter what that is. Because always remember, a business, as I like to see it, is like an airplane. And what do I mean by that? If you let it, it will go down. It takes energy. It takes a lot of power to keep that plane soaring in the sky. And if you want to go even higher, you need even more energy. So always remember, it is romantic. It would be nice to have something that is going on its own, but always remember that a business is not like that. A business needs your attention or the attention of your team. If you're in the business quadrant, you don't have to be fully participating. Someone has to be growing, though. Your team has to be growing in terms of skills, in terms of responsiveness. We had no idea that COVID will come and lockdowns will come. Or now we have like immense levels of appreciation in terms of, like prices and costs and everything in the business. Everything is changing and will be changing even faster. So we want to adapt. We want to see what it means to have AI changing the game plan of almost each and every business in the whole world. And you want to be adaptable, adaptive, and you want to make sure that you follow the best plan possible. I gave you 8 steps. It is something that you can work out even today. You can draft your first plan today and you can optimize it as much as you want in order to fit your goals. But always remember that you can have Tony as your mentor with his immense experience, of course. And I know that he has invested a lot of time, a lot of energy to create this new program. And also this new program has mentoring from many other people, as you will see in the landing page. And always remember that it is a very good idea when you feel that you're a bit behind, let's say. It is a very idea to rub shoulders, as Robin Sharma says, with the right people, the ones that are already where you want to go. And this is what my promise is for you today. And as I have in my plan already, I am ready to over-deliver if you decide to say yes. So angelolabru.com/Tony. And of course, regardless if you join us for the next within the next 15 hours or not, you do have some homework before I leave you. So number 1, make your first draft. Make your 8-step super plan. Number 2, start putting this into action, into effect. And number 3, find the right coach or mentor. And no matter what your level is, let go of that level. Transcend that level. Make sure that you fully commit to take yourself and your business to the next level. Because as I like to say, and as you will be hearing me say it even more in the next few months, I think the name of the game is scale or fail. Business as usual is no longer enough. Technology and the world is moving so fast that people don't realize that by going with business as usual, they don't have they lose, let's say, the flexibility and the adaptability, and sooner or later they will be failing. So scale or fail and do whatever it takes to grow yourself, your team, and your business right now, because success has everything to do with what we're thinking and doing right now. Now, it's been 40 minutes. As I promised, it won't be a 30-minute masterclass this time. I hope it was worth it. I'm here for you. If you want to ask any questions, just hit reply on any of my daily sources of inspiration, or you can send me a message in any of the social media that you prefer. And of course, before I sign off, I want to remind you once again that you deserve everything you want, and we all deserve your best self. Make sure that you take action today, no matter what that action is, and you do whatever it takes to achieve your business goals this year and set even greater ones for next year. See you next month with another life or business coaching masterclass, depending on the needs. As I like to say, once again, it's about doing the work. It's about changing what needs to be changed. See you next month. Ciao, ciao.